Hello, I'm Bernie Hayes. Today's guest is Rudo Kofi Al Amin. You may know him as Robert Green, and we'll be talking about various things happening in the St. Louis area today on The Bernie Hayes Show. And welcome back. My guest is Rudo Kofi Al Amin. Rudo, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, Bernie. How are you?
I'm great. You're looking great.
Well, thank you.
A lot of things have been happening, man. Last time you were here, you were talking about some things that were going to happen, and now that most of those things have passed.
Yeah.
You need to give us an update on what's going on, like the Freedom. But,
yeah, well, Bernie, the Freedom Celebration turned out to be a wonderful, wonderful event. We had maybe about 45, 50 vendors of all different, selling all different wares and just food, and we had. Actually, Bernie, my wife and I on the 18th, we went around to all the festivals, Juneteenth celebration festivals that we could find in the St. Louis City metropolitan area, and and I'm not bragging or anything because it's my event, but I would say without a doubt the first annual Juneteenth Freedom celebration was the biggest, best organized, and the most enlightened Juneteenth celebration in the city of St. Louis metropolitan area.
I can imagine.
In the history of the city of St. Louis metropolitan area. We had the mayor of the city of St. Louis come out. We had the Corey Bush came out. Of course, the Alderman Brendan Bosley Fraser was out there. And it was just people just coming and going all through the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. And maybe even an additional 400, maybe. So we had about 700 people coming through, spread out through the day. And we had a keynote speaker. Entertainment was just really, really great. So it was a great time. But one of the most important thing, though, Bernie, is that I was really feeling really spiritual because we're often talking about black folks don't spend money with black folks. But at the first annual Juneteenth Freedom Celebration, like other events I do, there was money turning over.
Wow.
With black folks turning money over. And that's the thing in our community that we really need to concentrate on. Is turning that dollar bill over in our community 15 times before it leaves.
That's beautiful.
And so at the Juneteenth Freedom Celebration, and as we talk further, that's what occurred.
I hope I didn't mess my engineer Bob Dimler up, but also on June the 4th, you had the historic house tour, and art show.
Yes,
tell us about that.
Yes, Bernie, that was an event that just popped up out of my mind to try to bring some people to North St. Louis, the area of the city where I live. So we had a historic house tour. My studio was open for a tour, and then there was a gentleman up the street that is restoring a home. His home was open for tour. But then we have two wonderful museums on St. Louis Avenue that we wanted to get some exposure to. And that's the Griot Museum that's been around for 25 years.
Right.
And Lois Connolly, the wonderful Lois Connolly, the great, wonderful Griot executive director.
Yeah, we've featured her here on the show many times.
Yeah. And she had a museum open. Calvin Riley, he's got the George Boyer-Vasson Museum, which is a wonderful treasure trove of African American memorabilia as it relates to us here in St. Louis and across the nation.
Yeah, and actually the Black Rep started down the street from there also.
Yeah, absolutely. Ron Hines actually started, right. He started on 23rd and St. Louis Avenue.
Yeah, the Miracle on 23rd Street.
Yeah, in the Greater Bible Way Baptist Church. Actually, when Ron, when I was going to college, I lived on the third floor of the mansion that was attached to where Ron did his performances.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And when I moved out, Ron moved in. So he was there. In fact, I was kind of sad to see Ron leave the neighborhood.
I can imagine. Tell us about the taste of St. Louis.
The taste of St. Louis, Bernie, was, like I said when I was here before, it was a cultural taste, and so it was a play on words. And so we expected it to be a cultural taste, and people come out. There would be some food there. That was the vision. There would be some food there. But really, when you came to the taste of North St. Louis, you was coming for a cultural taste. But Bernie, it really did turn out to be a taste of food because we had so many food vendors there that it was just wonderful. People were just eating food all day and having a good time. And again, the most important thing is that dollar bill was turning over several times before it left that event, at least.
Rudo, where do you get the energy and the desire to do these cultural festivals?
You know, Bernie, the energy, I get asked that question a whole lot. Really, I really get asked that question a whole lot. And the energy comes from the fact that if I wasn't doing these festivals and things, what would I be doing? You know, Dr. King said something like, and I'm paraphrasing, and I may not get it right.
Sure.
But he said something like, if you didn't find him at his desk, I mean, in the field, then you found him at his desk, then he was in the wrong place, or something like that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I get the spirit from my childhood experience of wanting to stumble into our history and culture and wanted to expose our young people to it. But my young daughter, my daughter brought my granddaughter to the first event that I did, and she was a baby in a stroller. And so she's 36 or so now. And my second daughter came to some of the events that I did when she was a baby, an arm baby. So I can, I do it. That's the motivation to keep doing it, because they asked my young 6-year-old granddaughter asked me, said, "Daddy, when we doing the next festival? Granddaddy, when we doing the next festival?" And then she was on the stage at the Taste of North St. Louis.
Yeah.
And she's practicing because she wanted to be on the next Taste. And so young people, really young people, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, want to be a part of the event, and I welcome that. And so that would give me the spirit and the drive. And also, like I said before, I'm not just doing a party where we're dancing and singing and all that. I'm trying to create a movement, a continuum of turning that dollar bill over in our community to create that economic parity and equality that we need here in St. Louis City, the nation, and the world.
Could you name some of the vendors who participated in the Taste of North St. Louis and also in the Juneteenth celebration and others?
In the Juneteenth celebration, Bernie, I have kind of taken a back seat to bringing the vendors in, but I just named a couple of the major people who supported us. The History Museum was there. The Art Museum was there. Williams Associates, and a multitude of other just individual people that have businesses of all manner, food and jewelry and clothing. And that's the whole thing. In our diaspora here in St. Louis, and I imagine across the United States and the world, we are very resilient people, because in light of this economy that we're in, a lot of business is going out of business. But I noticed that we're not. And the reason we're not is because we can't get those big money loans.
Yeah.
And so we work out our pocket anyway. And so in this economy, in this recession that we're in, and some say we're not, but I think we are, in this recession that we're in, from our point of view, those big money loans become due. And when you can't pay those big money loans, then you go out of business. But since we can't get those big money loans, we always going to be in business.
Sure.
So there's never a shortage of people that come out to sell their wares and to network and to exchange. I went down to Fair St. Louis this year. Nothing against Fair St. Louis, but usually Fair St. Louis have mostly white vendors selling food and everything, and that's okay and that's cool to a certain degree. But this year, it showed our resilience, because there was more black food vendors down at the Taste of North St. Louis than there were white. And that's just a matter of fact and not anything else.
Okay. Bob, we only have about 2 minutes before we have a break. Could you tell me about that staff that you're carrying, and also the hardware or wonderful ornaments that on your ring, on your fingers and wrists?
Yes, Bernie, absolutely.
We'll have about a minute.
Yes, quickly. The walking stick, I am a photograph collector. Mm-hmm. And when I came up as a kid, there was a lot of negative images about us, big lips, nappy hair, watermelon. But I collect photographs, historic photographs of gentlemen, dapper gentlemen, and beautifully dressed to the nine women, black women. And they have walking stick. And so it was a part of their attire. You don't carry a walking stick. In proper walking stick etiquette, you wear a walking stick.
Sure.
So I wear this walking stick because you have to be careful what you bring into your home, because you may immolate that. So I don't bring anything negative, with big lips like that in my collection.
Right.
But I do bring a dapper black gentleman with walking sticks.
That's
and I
good.
like that look. So I wear my walking stick.
Okay.
And I got a collection of those.
We'll be back with the Rudo as soon as we come back. But we're at the NLACTV Evangelistic Center, 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. Reverend Larry Rice is now home. And we try to reopen 1411 Locust Street in downtown St. Louis. And Reverend Rice will be telling you more about that. We'll be right back with Rudo after this.
This is an opportunity that God has given all of us at this time to work together to reopen 1411 Locust, which is so urgently needed at this community. I thank God for Bernie Hayes and for his support and standing with us all these particular years. Now it's so critical that you and I do our part also, as Bernie's been partnering with us here at NLACTV. We've continued to maintain faith, continue to move forward, and now the doors have been opened. The City of St. Louis has approved our architectural plans. We've been given the go-ahead to make the necessary renovations that are needed. We need some miracles, and that's why I'm asking all of you prayer warriors out there, all of you that are going to use that mustard seed of faith to remove the mountains. There's some mountains. Rich and powerful people who move back in the neighborhood, and they don't want 1411 Locust to open. They'd rather leave the people out on the street to slowly die, starved, used, misused, worked over by drug dealers, alcohol, and everything else. We want this place to be a place of hope for those that have lost all hope. And we want to open the doors, and we can do it. As you prayer warriors, go to God in earnest prayer, knocking on the doors of heaven. When He says, ask, it shall be given you, seek, and you shall find, knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Please continue to pray. Pray that God will just let the financial resources come in so we can make all of these repairs. He'll raise up the dedicated laborers for the harvest, that we will continue to see Him do exceedingly abundantly beyond what we can even ask or think. Yes, this is a spiritual battle. The principality and powers are fighting from every direction, but greater is He's in us than he that's in the world. And that's why I'm asking all of you to join us in prayer. Believe God with us. Contact us at New Life Evangelistic Center if you believe that there's people God laid on your heart that we should see. Ask for myself, Larry Rice, or my grandson, Chris Aaron Rice, that we can go visit and share the dream with you, and call us at 314-421-3020. Please pray. Get involved now. We need the body of Christ to arise as we work together to reopen this building for the glory of God.
And welcome back. My guest is Rudo Kofi Al Amin, and he's also known as Robert E. Green. And he's the organizer of so many festivals, and not only festivals, but he loves his people, he loves art, he loves so many wonderful things. And he's trying to be uplifting to not only himself, but to his neighborhood, to his cultural people, and to his wife, and social contacts also. Tell us about your wife, Robert.
My wife?
Yeah.
Oh, my wife was a wonderful, lovely individual. Just kind. When I met my wife, I was looking for a woman like my mother. And my mother, nothing against smoking cigarettes or anything like that, nothing against consuming alcohol, but my mother didn't do those things. Mm-hmm. And my mother went to church every Sunday. She was a devout Christian. She went to dress to the nines in a dress and everything. So I wanted a woman that kind of would emulate my mother. And just with strength and love and everything, like a passion for family. And my wife is the epitome of that. She's like my mother, but she's herself. She's a strong black woman. She's with me in the things that I do, such as I with her. But she really supports me and give me that drive that I need and give me that encouragement. I often wonder about great people, great men, great women. And I of course I followed Barack, but I think Shell was the real rock behind the thing.
I understand.
And the women got a different perspective,
Sure.
In fact, my wife and I were just talking this morning, and I say, talking about the grandchildren. I say, I don't just bombard them with information. I let them come to me and ask me questions, and then I try to, educate them and let them know what's going on from my perspective. Sure. But my wife, like she did with my daughter, she's teaching them from the beginning. The female, the woman, the mother has the babies from the beginning, and they're teaching them from the beginning before they come out of the womb. Sure. So my wife has been just a great mother, a great grandmother, a great sister, just a great wife, and just a great person all around.
So I know that she's helping you with all the different events that you present also. The 8th Annual St. Louis African American Artifacts Festival. Tell us about that. It's coming up in August.
Well, the 8th Annual African American Artifact Festival and Bazaar, of course, Bernie, that's our signature event. And in 2019, before the pandemic shut us down, we had about 5,000-6,000 people come through, 135 vendors, the History Museum, the Art Museum, the Mercantile Library, and the Griot Museum, and a host of other organizations, individuals. Better Family Life came out of support. And we had maybe about 5,000-6,000 people come through, spread out throughout the day.
Yeah, we were there too.
Event. Yeah. And it's different. Yeah. It's different from the St. Louis African Art Festival in Forest Park, and that's a wonderful event that's been going on for a whole lot of years, a lot longer than St. Lefab. The St. Lefab concentrate and focuses on the history of African Americans in America, our journey here in America. That's really what we try to focus on.
Now, where's it going to be held?
This year, like the previous years, it's going to be held at 14th and St. Louis Avenue in historic Old North St. Louis, Crown Plaza, and we're taking up 2 blocks this year, and it's going to be just a wonderful event. We got a lot of entertainment planned, and we're trying to bring about some unity in a big way, because we're reaching out into the Midwest to bring in some talent and some talented young people to make a connection, and we call them the Midwest Connection from Chicago.
Okay.
We're bringing in some people from Chicago. They were bringing some conscious young people from St. Louis, and it's just going to be just a conscious celebration of this love and love of family, and love of the Black community, and love of people just in general.
How can we reach you, Kofi, Rudo, and Rudo Kofi Al Amin, and how can we get more information from you?
Well, there's several ways, Bernie. The first and most important way to get information from us is to go to our webpage. And our webpage is Saint, SAINT, LAAA, 3 A's, FAB.com. That's our webpage. Okay. Saint, LAAA, FAB.com. And all the information that we do, all the events that we do is under that umbrella. Mm-hmm. All those things that you saw earlier, all those different events, is under St. Lefab, St. Louis African American Artifact Festival and Bazaar, produce all those events.
Is there an email or a phone number we can reach you?
Yeah, if the email address is saintlefab@gmail.com, SAINTLAAFAB@gmail.com.
And the phone number?
The phone number is area code 314-243-1021. And that's directly to me, and I answer it every time. And if I don't answer, I will call you back post haste.
Tell us about your fascination with Pruitt-Igoe. What's happening around Pruitt-Igoe?
Oh, Bernie, Pruitt-Igoe, it's home. It's home. I love that place. When I lived there, and we're keeping that love alive. So the Pruitt-Igoe, the true legacy, a conversation with former residents, is just an opportunity for us to try to come together and debunk some of these myths, these false myths that's been put out for decades and disseminated throughout St. Louis, America, and the world, and been studied on the academic level at these universities for years. And so we're trying to, and to the best of our ability while we're here, to set the record straight, because the record is not straight. We have to tell our narrative and write our narrative from our perspective, because we live there, we love there, we raise our families there, and if we don't do that, then others will write, and then they would misstate what they think they know and get it wrong, and then that would be in a historical record forever. So we have to put things out there, videos, books, documentaries, picnics, celebration, and record everything to try to counter that negative image they put out there.
Tell us about the September the 10th event.
September the 10th event is going to be held at the St. Louis Public Library downtown, the Central Branch. They're so kindly agreed to host us there. And so pretty much there will be a discussion on the stage with former residents of Pruitt-Igoe. I'm one of them. Adrian Harris, who grew up in the building with me at 2209 Division. She's another. Gregory Khalil Fenard, he lived in the Pruitt-Igoe a couple of times. He moved out, then moved back, his family. And then Ben Phillips, of course, Ben Phillips, a lot of people know Ben Phillips. He was the marshal of the city of St. Louis.
Sure.
And so he lived in the Pruitt-Igoe in the early years. So really, the people that's in the conversation are all spread out over a certain period of time to be able to talk about that period of time, to feel the whole
talk about
scope,
the positive things that happened
scope.
at Pruitt-Igoe.
Yeah, Bernie, we're going to be talking about the positive thing.
Yeah.
But we don't want to do what popular culture have done. Some people in popular culture, they talk about Pruitt-Igoe all in a negative sense.
Right.
We don't want to talk about Pruitt-Igoe in a negative sense. But we don't want to talk about it just all positive, because there were some things that happened there. So we want to have the conversation first and foremost amongst ourselves on stage, talking to each other.
True legacies.
True legacy, and then open the conversation up to the audience.
That's great.
But we're going to tell the true legacy. And the true legacy is, it was a wonderful, beautiful place. But yes, there were some problems there. But there's problems in any neighborhood throughout this United States of America. Right.
We got to take another short break, Rudo, on that. And we'll come back and talk about Pruitt-Igoe and some other things happening that's coming up with your organization. I'm Bernie Hayes. We'll be right back after this.
The Bernie Hayes program is produced at NLACTV right here at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. It's our new headquarters since they closed the 1411 Locust building. We're working to get back into that building. In addition to that, trying to help so many people through a wide variety of safe houses, training programs, transportation assistance, so many ways people are getting help because of all of you that are supporting the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. Now, if you'll send a gift of $25 or more, we want to send you this special, the Bernie Hayes Show cup. And we're giving that to people as just a way of saying thank you. So when you send your gift, request a cup. We'll be happy to get it off to you. It's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. You can give online at nlacstl.org. Now I'm really asking all of you to join us in praying. The needs are so phenomenal at this particular time. So many hurting and homeless people are contacting us daily, but we're able to help them because of each one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing at this time. Tell your families and friends about NLAC TV and get directly involved yourself.
Our Black History subject for today is Louise Beavers, the African-American film and television actress who was born March 8, 1902 in Cincinnati, Ohio. She went to Hollywood not as a performer, but as the maid of actress Beatrice Joy. She soon, however, appeared on the silver screen, making her feature debut on Gold Diggers in 1923, and she continued to act in other silent films as Uncle Tom's Cabin in 1927. With the coming of sound films, Beavers' career took off, and between 1929 and 1960, she appeared in more than 100 films. Beavers had an opportunity to play a role equal to Claudette Colbert in the first version of Imitation of Life in 1934. Her career culminated in 2 television series as a housekeeper in the early situation comedies Beulah and The Danny Thomas Show. Louise Beavers died October 26, 1962 in Hollywood. She was inducted posthumously into the Black Entertainers Filmmakers Hall of Fame in 1976. Louise Beavers.
Hear this, you who trample the needy and do away with the poor of the land. Let justice roll on like a river, righteousness like a never-failing stream. You trample on the poor and force him to give you grain. Therefore, though you have built stone mansions, you will not live in them. Though you have planted lush vineyards, you will not drink their wine. For I know how many are your offenses and how great your sins. You oppress the righteous and take bribes, and you deprive the poor of justice in the courts.
Rudo Kofi Al Amin is my guest, Robert Green. And Robert, we were talking about the true legacy of Pruitt-Igoe. You said you didn't want to make it charming, you don't want to make it negative. You just wanted to tell the truth about Pruitt-Igoe. That's going to be when? September the 10th, is it?
September 10th at St. Louis Public Library. Yes,
St. Louis Public Library. What time does it start? And how long will it last?
Doors open at 1. The program starts at 1:30.
Okay, the doors open at 1. Program starts at 1:30.
1:30.
And to 4. Is that correct?
That's September 10th.
Yeah. But it's from 1 to 4.
1 to 4, yes, sir.
Okay, 1:30 to 4. Okay. That's September the 10th. Also, now I understand you're going to have a Pruitt-Igoe picnic. When is that?
The Pruitt-Igoe picnic. The Pruitt-Igoe picnic was scheduled for September 10th, but then we wanted to squeeze in the panel, the conversation before the picnic. So it's wrong on the screen. It's actually the 17th.
September 17th.
And so it's going to be just a wonderful picnic, bring your own basket type picnic like we did last year. So we're making plans for that, and that's scheduled for September 17th.
Okay, now where is it? DeSoto Park? Is there
right at DeSoto Park in Carr, right by Pruitt School. Yes. It's the closest spot we can get to Pruitt-Igoe.
Yeah, it's near Cass or Jefferson or what?
Sorry?
For those who don't know, is that near Jefferson and Cass or what? DeSoto Park.
That's at Carr and 20th Street.
Oh, 20th and Carr.
Yeah, 20th and Carr.
That's DeSoto Park.
Yes.
And that'll be from one time?
DeSoto Park.
Okay.
Yeah, but everybody from the project we call it the field.
Okay, all right. So the people from that area would know what they were talking about.
They know.
Now, what's happening on September the 24th? September 24th.
September 24th. In 2019, we got together with a coalition of like-minded people, individuals, organizations, like Better Family Life, I just named a couple, the UAPO, Williams Associates, and then we created that coalition in 2019. Of course, the pandemic shut us down, so we're trying to restart that coalition. So I don't know if we're going to be successful with that. I've talked to several other people who came together in 2019, and I'm working on that. But if we're not successful with that, then I'm going to try to do something around the end of September into October. It's going to be a retro back to Afro Day in the Park that Percy Green started back in the day. Yeah. So something will happen, whether it's the Unity Festival Market, which I'm praying to God that we're able to recreate that coalition and come back together and do something in unity. If not, then we'll do a retro Afro Day in the Park.
Okay. Well, once again, we need to know how to reach you, how we can participate. If you're looking for participation or you're looking for donations, and tell us about that.
Yes. If you want to reach me or to give a donation, the best thing to do is go to our website, saitlafab.com, and you can donate there, and you can sign up and register as vendors there, and you can become a sponsor there. So that's the place to go.
Sure.
But if you need any further details, feel free to call me, and my phone number is area code 314-243-1021, and also feel free to email us at saitlafab.com. That's SAINT, saitlafab@gmail.com. That's SAINTLAAAFAB@gmail.com.
And are you on Facebook or any other social media?
We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over the place. Bernie, I've been on podcasts, radio shows, of course, TV. We was in magazines all over the place. We're getting a lot of coverage.
That's great.
And I think we're getting a lot of coverage because we are doing multiple things, and we're doing a lot of things every month. I think people are starting to take notice.
Okay. Bob, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, Rudo, and I just hope everything's successful for you. And I'll be certainly seeing you on September the 10th. I'm moderating that particular program.
I'll be moderator.
And thank you so very, very much, and good luck to you. And everything that you do is so positive. I'm just so proud just to know you and have you on our show. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Bernie, for having me on once again. Without your support and bringing me on and helping me spread the word, this event wouldn't be as positive as it is.
You're very kind.
Thanks also for being the moderator of the conversation that we're going to have at the library on
September 10th.
September 10th.
Thank you so much, Kofi.
Thank you, Bernie.
And everybody else, thank you, Rudo. And thank you all for watching and supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day.